Okay, in this second video, okay, I'm gonna explain to you, okay, this is one application of relational network visualization, okay. So this is in the situation or in the scenario of social network, okay. Suppose these are the data that we're going to transform, okay, into a relational network diagram, okay. So this data schema, okay, comes from database, okay. So you can see here, these are attribute, name, gender, and age, okay. So this comes from table user, okay. So where this is 1 to 3 represent the rows, okay, rows of data, okay. Name, gender, and age is the attribute, okay. I'm sure you have known this, okay, all these elements, okay, because I have explained the class before, okay. Or also field, okay, so they are the same thing, okay. So this is the first table, okay, table user, and this is table friends with, okay. And then this is the third table, this is within the, this is the database table for user and friends with, and this is database table for page and likes, okay. So this table represent what is the page of a website, okay. So this is we have Coca-Cola, the Beatles, apples, okay. And this attribute of the category of the page, okay, or page here means website, okay. Okay, and then we have also like, so meaning that it's showing which user, okay, ID user, so it referring to this table, okay. This table is okay, table that store data about user, okay. So it shows the relation, okay, for each page, okay. This is ID for page, okay, 1 to 3. So 1, 2 means the Beatles, okay. 1 means Coca-Cola, and 3 is Apple, okay. So this is Apple, and 2 is the Beatles, and this one is Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, okay. All right, and in this first like in these two tables, okay, so ID is just to show, okay, which friends, okay, which user makes friends with which user. For example, user 1 here is John, so this is John. So John actually make friends with Mary, and Mary makes friends with Francis, okay. So this is Mary. So it shows the connection. So so we have, okay, this data from, which is similar to Facebook, because in Facebook you can like page, okay, you can make friends, okay, where a user can be friends with another user or can also like a page. So we try to structure this data in a relational database tables into a relational network diagram, okay, which is on your right here, okay. For example, okay, the green nodes represent, okay, the green nodes represent user, okay, green user, okay, and the red represent page, okay. So it shows the connection, okay. So we are actually connecting, okay, web pages, activity of particular user, okay, in a Facebook, okay, because you can like your friends, okay, you can also like maybe some pages, okay, or some news feed, okay, in your timeline, okay. So John friends with Mary, okay, that is true, because here you can see that 1 and 2, okay. John friends with, okay, this is the name of the table, so this shows the association name, okay, the connection. So John make friends with Mary, and Mary here, number 2, make friends with Francis. That is right, okay. And then we can see the connection between this user with the pages that they like, okay. For example, John likes page the Beatles. Is that true? Okay, so we can check here. John ID is 1, so we try to find 1 here, okay. So ID here is actually representing John, and John, okay, is associated with ID page 2, okay. So 2 is the Beatle, okay. So that is right, John likes the Beatle, okay. And then John also is also associated with another page, okay. So let's see, what is it? Okay, so we have 1 here, And okay, yes, John also likes page Coca-Cola. Okay, so this is two connections, okay, between John and two different pages. Okay, and let's see, what about Mary? Okay, so Mary, okay, in this diagram it shows that Mary likes apple. Is that right? Okay, so we go and see here at the table. So Mary is number 2, ID 2, Mary. So yes, Mary is actually connected to apple. Okay, and then what about Francis? Okay, so Francis, okay, Francis is ID number 3, and here number 3 is Francis, and yes, he likes the page. Is that right? Francis, number 2. 2 is the beetle. The beetle. Okay, yes, the beetle. Yes. Okay, so Francis also likes the beetle. Okay, so so that is how, okay, from a relational database schema, you can transform the information here into a relational network diagram. Okay, so this is what what is actually being shown here, okay, in this GitHub. Okay, from the database data, so we transform into this. This is very complex, and same goes to this one, okay, the Star Wars connection. Okay, so it shows how a character actually talks with another character, okay, in a scene, okay, for an episode of Star Wars. Okay, so you can we can never, okay, so you can see that, okay, if the size, okay, if the size is larger, okay, for example Luke compared to Yoda, so the size of the note is bigger, okay, because maybe, okay, okay, Luke make more conversation, okay, has more dialogues, okay, in the scene, okay, and then the line between Luke and Han is the weight, okay, of the line is larger because maybe they talk more, okay, as compared Luke to C3PO. Okay, so that's why, okay, in here it's mentioned that the property, okay, of relational networks, okay, can represent the variability of the data. So you can play, okay, around with the node size and the link stroke weight. Okay, so that is what we meant, how we apply, okay, the concept of these properties onto the relational network diagram. Okay, now we come to the second types of visualization, that is trends, timeline, and flows. Okay, so what is a timeline? Okay, so a timeline is a graphical way of displaying a list of events, okay, in a chronological order. Okay, so we have events and chronological order, meaning that it involves time. Okay, so some timelines work on a scale, while others simply display events in a sequence. Okay, so the main functions of timelines is to communicate time-related information, either for analysis or to just visually present a story or view of history. Okay, so that instead of you read okay, pages, okay, text to explain, okay, history of how Parameswara come to Malacca, okay, so you can actually transform that story, okay, into timeline, so that when you do revision, okay, you will remember better than going through the text, okay, to explain, okay, the history. Okay, but of course you have to have those two skills. Okay, you have to you should be able to produce, okay, the diagrams, okay, for example this sequential timeline, and also later on, okay, you have to also have the ability to describe, okay, whatever information that you show, okay, in the timeline, or whatever diagrams that you produce. Okay, so meaning that we have to go in both ways, okay, from data to diagram, and then also from diagram to reverse back to the data, okay, to explain back what does the visualization actually explain. Okay, so So if scale based, a timeline allows you to see when things occur or are to occur by allowing the viewer to assess the time intervals between events. Okay, so this allows the viewer to see any patterns, okay, appearing over any selected time periods, or how events are distributed at that time period. Okay, so another form of data visualization that you can explore more is span charts, okay, which can be combined with a timeline, okay, and that is to show how quantitative data changes over time. Okay, but before that, let's see, okay, examine this anatomy of timelines. Okay, so okay, you can have the time, okay, it could be dates, okay, depends what information you are displaying. It could be dates, it could be times, it could be day of the week, okay, months of the year, okay, or seasons of the year, okay, for example, whether it's in during spring season, autumn, winter, and so on. So as long as it has that time elements, okay, so you can show patterns. Okay, so normally it will go by sequence, okay, following the time, so that you can see the chronological order, okay, of the data. Okay, it can be sequential time, okay, so this is sequential, going through by events 1 2 3. Okay, it can also go by timeline. Okay, sometimes event 1 could happen if at different months. Okay, so it depends on which context you are looking into. Okay, so so meaning here, okay, you have to differentiate between these two. Okay, so if it's sequential, so meaning that in the diagram you are showing the sequence by events, what is happening, and then this is the minority, okay, you are showing the when it is happening. Okay, but if you are showing the scale timeline, so you are actually looking into the months here. So this is the main visual. You are aware where when reader look at your diagram, it will see the timeline first, okay, then only it see the event. So their eyes is actually focusing on the timeline, okay, the months, and then you put that label of where the events actually happenings, okay, in between the months. Okay, whereas here they will see events first. Okay, so this is what you want to focus on. Okay, so this is by sequential, or this is by scale timeline. Okay, so so span chart. Okay, so span chart is another chart, okay, that can be combined with the timelines, okay, that is used to display data set ranges between a minimum value and a maximum value, and they are ideal for comparing ranges, typically for categorized ranges. Okay, so they are also known as range bar or column graph, floating bar graph, difference graph, or high-low graph. These are all the terms used. So if you found these terms, okay, in any materials or in any resources about data visualization, so you know that these are in the same category of span chart. So span charts focus the reader only to the extreme values, okay, and gives no information on the values in between the minimum and maximum. So it just show you the minimum and maximum. It doesn't show you the average, okay, of the value. For example, the bars of a span chart could be used to show duration of events. Okay, and you can click here. Okay, so in this, okay, this is a hyperlink to another page, okay, that showcase a list of timelines combination that you can play, that you can give you some idea if you want to produce such visualization of timeline combination. Okay, but before that, so this is the anatomy of span chart. Okay, so it has scale and it shows the minimum and maximum values, so that because these are extreme values, so people are not interested to know the average, they just want to know maximum and minimum. Okay, so you can go to this, this is where the result, this diagram is taken. Okay, so you can have a detailed explanation here. Okay, so I go to the next page first. Okay. Okay, so okay, before that, okay, if you want to go to this page, you just click. Okay, this is okay, hyperlink. Okay, and it brings you to the page. Okay, so here you can have combination of, okay, you can overlay extra data onto timelines. Okay, so it gives you many ideas. Okay, many ideas of how to combine, okay, timelines with span chart. Okay, okay, now we want to see, okay, another example, okay, of span chart using Microsoft Excel application. Okay, so in Excel you have this option, okay, to create this span chart. So span chart, okay, as it's been mentioned in the previous page, so it focuses on the extreme points, okay, and gives no information on the values between maximum and minimum or average of the data distribution. So it just gives you extreme points of minimum and maximum. Okay, so this is example of span chart in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so this is different lifespan in years, okay, of popular domestic pets. Okay, so for guinea pig, okay, the lifespan, okay, minimum is 5 years, maximum 10 years. So this is meaning that in a span chart, you are interested to know, okay, let's say you want to have a pet, right? And then you want to have a pet that has a very long span time. I mean, meaning that you want to, for example, cats. Okay, so cats has a very long span age. Okay, so it can live up to 20 years. Okay, minimum up to from 7 years to 20 years. Okay, so or you might be thinking of, no, I don't want to stick to one pet, so I want to have experience of having a variety kinds of pets. Okay, why not try hamster? Because hamster is just has a very short, okay, lifespan. Okay, so by having this diagram, so you can have a rough idea. Okay, so which pet, okay, that you want to have. Okay, so it helps you to make decision. Okay, so this is the use of span chart. So it gives you points of minimum and maximum value. Okay, you are not interested knowing the average value in between. Okay, so and then for more detail, okay, of span chart, okay, you can have, or you can use the box chart. Okay, so the box chart will give you detailed explanation. Okay, so these two types of charts is available in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so we can have this. Okay, so so let's see. Okay, if you go to here, so these are the same link. Okay, we go to here. Okay, so for this detailed chart, okay, for span chart, so you create a box and whisker plot. Okay, so box and whisker plot, it will give you the median value. So instead of minimum, maximum and maximum, you will have the median value. So this is a more detailed version of span chart. Okay, for example, you want to know for different breed of dogs. Okay, so for medium breed, okay, so the average lifespan is maybe 13 years. Okay, where the minimum is 12 and the maximum is 14. So it will give you the detailed information, okay, of the span chart. So this is the use of box chart. Okay, so we can have, and it also can show you the first quartile and also third quartile. Okay, so these are available in Microsoft Excel. Okay, the last part, okay, this is just to show you the combination timelines, where we combine timelines with span chart, so we can have a variety of plenty different kind of visualization, so they look interesting. Okay, so you just have to be wise in choosing which diagram actually suits your representation. Okay, So this is area chart. So it has, okay, we can interpret this diagram differently as compared to this diagram. This is arc diagram that we combine with timeline. Okay, and this is line chart combined with timeline. So basically there are variety of combination timelines chart, okay, that we can adopt, okay, to display our data. So you can go to this link, okay, to see more explanation about this different kind of combination timelines.